silly bands were maybe might be not within your kind of whatever, time frame of raising kids or whatever.
No, my oldest is 13, and they banned them when he was in elementary school.
Remember, Webkins were a thing. It's just like lime, but it's so weird. It's like, why lime? Limes are like the thing.
Tamagotchi were big too.
Yeah.
That's how I take the limes. It's sort of just like the thing, the popular thing. And it's weird because it's like, why? But why any of those other things either?
Yeah.
This thing slap up your wrist with this band. Why that? Why? But yeah.
The only thing I can think of is I wished I had thought of it.
The slap bands or whatever the
Oh,
term
you know what
was.
the other
Yeah,
thing
like
was?
those little
the rainbow
elastic
move or
bands. It's
something?
like, who would have
These
thought
plastic
those would be
things-
so popular?
Yeah. But anyway, they didn't have that kind of stuff back in the 19th century. It's all like plastic and rubber, right?
Yeah.
So they had limes.
Yep.
But it was still kind of weird.
Hey, what was a lime? What is a lime?
A lime is a piece of fruit. I know it's odd, so they would collect whoever had more limes. It was like almost like a commodity, like a indication of your worth or something socially, like a social credit
Prestige.
score. How many limes you have?
Yep.
Because back then you bought more practical stuff, and that's
And it was
kind of
very-
more frivolous.
It was frivolous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They show that in the Little Women.
Well, yeah, that's what
Yep.
we're talking
Amy's got a lime debt she's got to pay back.
But that teacher then turned out to be mean, and I thought that was then Amy got homeschooled, so these guys homeschool their kids. So that used to be how everybody was schooled, really, and then they started having the little schools and 50 kids in a class with some old dude who raps her knuckles or something. So anyway, so that was a memorable scene. Or we could start talking about who's your favorite character.
Okay.
Okay, that's always a good one for icebreaker.
Sounds like she's got some thoughts.
Joe.
I like Amy.
Okay, why? Of course we have to answer that question.
She in the book that I read, she does art, and she wants to be a famous artist, and I'm really good at art.
Okay.
I do really good at drawing. And
So it's like each one of the girls really is very different, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's the thing I think that's.
Joe cut her hair for a bunch of money to help out her.
One beauty.
Yeah, her one beauty. She
Oh,
cut
that
off.
was
To
right.
get
to
Mrs.
get the money
March
because
the train passage
Yeah.
to DC.
just to be fully transparent, I started rereading it, but I got to 150. I just didn't have time, so it's been a few years, and I've seen the movies, and I read the Spark Notes this morning. But
Also,
Amy is interesting because, in the movies, they always have two actresses play her because she's very young. She kind of changes the most, doesn't she? She seems like she changes the most because she's just a little girl, almost like a little girl.
yeah, and then in the newer movies, they're she's older.
Well, yeah. Any other thoughts on Amy? Is that anyone else's?
She's probably my least favorite.
Do you know what's funny with the movies? She was always, maybe it was the actresses that portrayed her, but yeah,
Very
she didn't
snotty.
resonate with me as much, but I can definitely, I don't know how familiar is she with,
Yeah, she watched
you like
movies.
Joe?
We've been listening to the book.
You like Joe? Why?
She's fancy and she's not.
What's that?
She's fancy and she's not.
She's fancy and, well, yeah, okay. She can be kind of informal and, shall I use the word tomboyish?
That's
I
very
mean, today, let's not. I feel
That's
that some people today
perceptive
would
for a young
would
kid.
suggest she was
Yeah.
some other thing than a tomboy, but she's
I
my
like that.
favorite because she wants to be a writer. I always identified with Joe quite a lot because you know who Joe really is? Louisa May Alcott, the writer of the book.
They're all different, but they are all artistically talented. Because Amy's got her art, Joe's a writer, Beth knits, Meg sews.
Piano.
Yep. Yeah, Beth plays the piano.
Yeah, well, that's right. Beth has the musical ability.
Yeah,
Beth.
and then-
Every time it's like, oh,
yeah, and
Beth.
then
That's why I say her favorite. She's really going to cry.
Yeah, Beth is my second favorite because I also play piano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I love how her neighbor. I forget what his last name is, but
Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah.
Mr. Lawrence. Thank you. let her always play on his piano before she died of like scarlet fever.
And didn't he actually give her another piano? That on the Christmas he gave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He had a
And
lot of
then,
pianos over in his house.
Yeah, and then Joe fell in love with Mr. Lawrence's son or grandson.
Well, Joe did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to talk about that whole thing. That.
What? Nobody heard that part?
If we're already there, that's my favorite character is Theodore Lawrence.
Awesome.
Yep.
I that's fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be one of the
100%. He's the best character in the whole book.
Why? No, I like that. That's, yeah. But when you say who's your best character, you have to say why.
He's constant. He's constant. They can always count on him. Nobody in the family ever goes to Lori for help and doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Joe, Meg, Amy, they're all capricious in their own ways, and Beth doesn't really do enough to be counted on at all, but he's a rock for the March family.
He almost fills a void because there is no male, the dad's away.
Right.
And so he kind of fills a role that needs to
I think
be in the constant, being sort of, I like that.
I think they need him as much as he needs them.
Yes. Because he's kind of lonely.
Yeah.
That's how he's portrayed at the beginning, very lonely.
Yeah, very lonely.
Yeah.